you all so much for being here with one another in this moment of now, across distance, across time zones, across all different experiences and backgrounds. Thank you to National Brain Tumor Society for holding this space, and for the many incredible humans like Rachel who make this possible, this being here. And thank each and every single one of you for showing up for yourselves. It is generally the hardest part, the showing up. And here you are. So if we haven't met before, I know that Rachel mentioned we have some newbies in the crew. Welcome. My name is Tori. Welcome to my living room. I facilitate yoga, meditation, and mindfulness entirely in memory of my mom, who was diagnosed with glioblastoma in 2012, and then she passed with it in 2014. She was a physical education teacher in a high school, and she was ridiculously athletic and played every single sport ever and could beat anyone in a foot race. Literally never let me win. But the lesson that she taught without even trying was compassion. It was as natural for her as breathing. So this is all for her. For me anyway, and maybe you have a person, the reason that you're here. And that person could be you, yeah. So no matter why you're here, welcome to this shared space. And if there's anything about you that you would like me to know about you, feel free to send me a message in the chat. You can do so privately, if you want to, of course. I would love to hear from you, or see from you, I suppose. Yeah. No matter how you showed up, wherever you happen to be, my hope for you in this time together is to find something that you can return to, like a skillful need, a sliver of peace that you uncover and discover on your own. Doesn't require going anywhere, no grand adventure or vision quest to find it. It's just there in you, right there where you are. Maybe you're just not looking in the right places. Just being here where you are is the practice. Right where you are, I would encourage you to make one choice about your immediate environment that would be a little kinder, a little sweeter than it is right now. Just one choice, 1 degree, 1 notch on the thermostat, maybe. Or maybe you choose to have a blanket nearby, a pillow, or a stack of them. You might have layers, cozy socks. You might dim the lights, light a candle, have a photo of someone that you love nearby. Maybe it's a glass of water, candle burning. Maybe it is setting an alarm for your future self in case you have something to tend to with a timestamp upon it for later. And that way, not needing to worry about whether or not you doze off. Maybe the choice that you make is an agreement with yourself right here, right now, that it is okay if you fall asleep here. Giving yourself permission to rest here if that is what your body needs. Giving yourself whatever it is that you need here, some small grace, some small kindness. And the thing that you choose could be to play soft music. I'll be sharing a link that is entirely optional in the chat feature if you happen to play with Spotify. Naturally, anytime I go looking for that link, it disappears on me. And there we go. Entirely optional music if you'd like to play along. Or maybe you choose silence, or maybe you already have music playing. You could practice along to the sound of your own breathing, the drum of your heartbeat. Please know that this practice, this being here, is for everybody, for every body, no experience necessary. This is just a container, a vessel for the experience of living and everything that courses through you. This allows you to feel. And you know what it feels like in your body better than anyone else on this planet. So honoring what's best for your body here. You might slowly make your way into a spot, into a shape that you'd like to start off in. You might choose to start seated on a couch, on a cushion, on the ground if you really want to. You might choose to sit up with a tall spine and the crown of your head, the highest point of you reaching for the sky, like you were a little too short for the roller coaster ride of life, willing yourself to grow. Or you might practice standing, even walking, crown of your head still the highest point of you reaching for the sky. Maybe choose to lie down on your back in bed, even with your heart, the part of you that's reaching for the stars. Maybe you place a pillow beneath your head, beneath your upper back, lifting you ever so slightly. You might place some pillows behind the bends of your knees. Tends to be a little sweeter to your low back. Maybe you place a heavy blanket across your legs, over your belly, or pull it all the way up to that little notch at the base of your throat. Knowing that there is no wrong or right way to be here, just being here, that is the practice. You can always change your mind, honoring your body's needs as we go. No matter where you are, you might let gravity start to take hold of your shoulders. Let them melt a little further away from your ears. Maybe wrapping them back ever so slightly as though your shoulder blades were trying to kiss opposite sides of your spine. And with that action, you might notice your heart space opens up a little more. And for now, you might allow your eyes to remain open. And then notice what you see. Scan the space around you, the room that you're in. Notice what there is to be taken in by sight in the external environment. What shapes, what patterns, what colors do you see? You might notice swirls on the ceiling. Maybe popcorn overhead. Maybe it's a photo of a loved one nearby. Maybe it's your dog sound asleep, side of their face smushed into the couch. Maybe. Your eyes might find something green in your immediate environment, scanning slowly, nothing to rush, just taking it all in. You might notice areas of light, flickering flame, filtered sun spilling through the window pane, maybe moon glow. You might notice areas of shadow, of darkness. Might notice how the one allows us to appreciate the other, for without one there is no other. And as you scan the space around you, instead of looking for what's missing, noticing what's there, right where you are. Like a mental inventory. This is where I am. Seeing what you see. And you might keep going just like this, noticing what it is that you see, being where you are. Or maybe you allow your eyelids to get heavy, to be taken by the pull of gravity, and they slowly close. In the same way that you could pour your attention into everything in the space around you, beginning to pour your attention into the space within you. Noticing what there is to see in the internal landscape, everything there is to be witnessed. Noticing the mountain peaks and the soft valleys, everything in between. And as you look and check in with yourself and every single part of you, a mental inventory exactly as you are right now, from the crown of your head through the muscles in your face, the strength of your jaw, maybe yawning it out. You might notice your tongue and where it rests within your mouth. Maybe the tip of your tongue touches the roof of your mouth, just behind the upper teeth, maybe. Noticing the length of your neck, the notch at the base of it, scanning all of the space, every room, every chamber of your heart, the expansiveness of it, the cage that surrounds it and protects it, the space in between each rib. Noticing the softness of your belly, the strength of your back, the length of every limb, all the way down to your fingertips and toes. And checking in with your whole body here, from the crown of your head down to your fingertips and toes, traversing mountain tops and valley lows and everything in between. Noticing the in-between. Noticing anything, everything about your internal landscape, the space that your body holds. Scanning your whole body, this impermanent vessel, the container for the experience of being alive. Your body being here. Your body breathing here. Notice what it feels like to physically sit, lay, stand, move about in your body as you breathe. Noticing physical evidence of your breath wherever it is you feel it the most. Maybe it's in the rise and the fall of your belly. Breathing in, the soft, supple belly expands like a balloon on the inhale. And breathing out, the navel draws in towards your spine. Breathing in and out, maybe you notice it in your rib cage, the expansiveness and the knitting back together. Maybe feel your breath in your upper back, maybe the front of your chest, the rise and the fall. Maybe you notice the movement of air at the back of your throat or in your nostrils, maybe even subtle on your upper lip. Noticing so intently to the physical sensation of your breath. Maybe noticing the moment that air becomes breath, that breath becomes air. Maybe noticing there is no difference at all. The universe becomes you. You become the universe, everything in everything. Simply noticing what it physically feels to breathe. Being with the rise and the fall of your breath, noticing the peak and the valley and everything in between. Life tends to present itself the same exact way, the highest of highs, the mountain peaks, the lowest of lows in the valleys, yet most of the time we live our lives somewhere in between. Riding the full wave of breath. the one that you're breathing right now, the climb all the way to the crest, the lingering at the top, the downward slope, the hollow at the bottom, the lingering there, and the starting over. And the starting over and over, riding the full wave of this breath that you're breathing right now. The one that you have never breathed before. Will never breathe again. And taking it all in. And giving it all back. All of this is on loan. All just passing through. You might continue going exactly as you are, noticing the internal landscape of your body, the highs and the lows of your own breathing, and all of the space in between. Or perhaps in your mind, you envision yourself resting by a riverbank. You on the side of a river or a stream of your own consciousness, watching it move by. As any thoughts flow into the landscape, regardless of their content. Seeing them as little eddies, bubbles, swirls in the stream, and allowing them to float on by. Not needing to get swept away by them, just letting them be what they are as they move along. No matter the emotional charge of the currents, not getting swept away. No matter what thoughts come into the stream of your consciousness, maybe memories of the past, or the thing that happened yesterday that you keep replaying over and over, or the thing that happened years ago that you're still beating yourself up over. Or maybe it's whatever might happen tomorrow. The to-do list, a mile long, maybe not so niceties and judgments that come into the stream of your consciousness. No matter the thoughts, noticing them as little eddies in the water flow without needing to follow them downstream. You might know far too well the familiar tug of thoughts of the past. Learn from the past, but do not live there. Or you might spend an awful lot of your time thinking about what might happen in the future, and whatever you think might happen might not. Plan for the future, but do not live there. Everything that happened before this moment is gone, is memory. Whatever has yet to come might never come. Life happens here in the middle of now, the space in between. The space that you're breathing into. This breath that you're breathing, you have never breathed before, will never breathe again. You witnessing the landscape before you, the landscape within you exactly as it is, a gentle stream just flowing by. The practice of mindfulness meditation is not for the purpose of living without thought. Minds think, that's what they do. This practice rather is being aware of thoughts, yet not getting swept away into the stream or caught in the current. This practice is noticing the moment that maybe you do get swept away, and then returning to the riverbank and starting over. This practice is moment to moment resilience. It's coming back to where you are, and it just takes practice. Maybe you continue that practice of noticing the thoughts in the stream of your own consciousness. Or maybe in your mind's eye, you shift your gaze towards the sky. And as thoughts enter the landscape of your mind, you might envision each one appearing as a cloud overhead, floating into the picture, then drifting away, allowing any memories or images that come to mind, regardless of the content, each to become a cloud, like a little thought bubble, really, moving overhead, passing by. Perhaps you have many thoughts passing by, many clouds rushing and racing ones. Just notice them, not needing to chase or follow them. No matter their electrical or emotional charge, positive, negative, some neutral in between, just allowing them to be what they are. Nothing more than clouds. Not needing to believe them, not needing to get carried away by them. You might notice thoughts in the form of judgment or commentary. You might think, I must be doing this wrong. And that would be a thought. Not giving it any clout, instead allowing it to be a cloud just passing through. Or maybe you have a recurring thought, an intrusive or looming thought, a dark cloud even. Just noticing it for what it is and letting it be, letting it move along. Pema Chodron is a Tibetan Buddhist nun who I cannot not see my mom in. Wrote, "You are the sky. Everything else, it's just the weather." And with that, allowing any storms, any clouds just pass through. Not needing to avoid or chase anything, not needing to believe any of them or get carried away. Allowing whatever thoughts to pass through, simply float on by. You might continue to notice the thought bubble clouds passing overhead, ever changing. Or maybe you start to notice the space in between them. The space in between the clouds, the infinity of the sky overhead. You might begin to notice that life happens here, in the space in between the thoughts, in the bluebird sky, between the clouds, in the moments between your memories and before your plans, in the infinity of now. The practice of mindfulness meditation is not for the purpose of living without thought. Minds think that's what they do. This practice, rather, is being aware of the thoughts, yet not getting carried away like a kite head in the clouds. This practice is noticing the moment that maybe you do get carried away, coming back down, being a witness to it all, and starting over again. It's moment to moment resilience, coming back to where you are, and it just takes practice. You might continue this practice of noticing thoughts as clouds in the sky or little eddies, bubbles in the stream of consciousness in your mind. Or maybe you slowly return your awareness to the landscape of your body. The same way that you could pour your attention into your thoughts, pouring your attention into the vessel, the container of this being human. You might come to notice the space that you hold as vast as the sky. You might come to notice all of the rivers, the streams, little tributaries flowing through you, everything flowing through you. You might come to notice the mountain peaks and the valley lows. Might find gentle movement in your fingertips and toes. Noticing your limbs, their length, the length of your spine to strength of your back, softness of your belly. And then you might begin to breathe into your belly and breathe out from there too. Breathing into the belly and breathing out from there too. Your human body breathing here. Your human body being here. Just being where you are, here, now and here. That's all there is. Everything that has come before is but a memory. Everything that might come next might not. You have never breathed this breath before and never will again. You here, just bearing witness to everything flowing through you. I'd love to close this practice with you sharing one of my favorite poets, David White, and his poem, What to Remember When Waking. In that first hardly noticed moment in which you wake, coming back to this life from the other, more secret, movable, and frighteningly honest world where everything began, there is a small opening into the day which closes the moment you begin your plans. What you can plan is too small for you to live. What you can live wholeheartedly will make plans enough for the vitality hidden in your sleep. To be human is to become visible while carrying what is hidden as a gift to others. To remember the other world in this world is to live in your true inheritance. You are not a troubled guest on this earth. You are not an accident amidst other accidents. You were invited from another and greater night than the one from which you have just emerged. Now, looking through the slanting light of the morning window toward the mountain presence of everything that can be, what urgency calls you to your one love? What shape waits in the seed of you to grow and spread its branches against a future sky? Is it waiting in the fertile sea, in the trees beyond the house, in the life you can imagine for yourself, in the open and lovely white page on a waiting desk? You might begin to decide what it is you'd like to carry with you, what you'd rather leave behind. You might slowly start to blink your eyelids on open, returning to the space that surrounds you, returning to the shared space whenever you're ready. There is so much more that I would love to share with you one day, other methods, other means. And until we meet again, I cannot thank you enough for being here. It's been an honor to guide you all. Please know that you can always come back and revisit this practice recorded, and I'll be handing things back to Rachel.